As we reported earlier, Tom Selleck has come out as the poster boy for the National Rifle Association and is thus the subject of tonight's hastily thrown together editorial. Huzzah and kudos to Tom Selleck for having the courage to say what we've all been thinking but haven't had the brass double barrels to say. Shooting teaches young people good things. And heroin helps kids sleep.
That was 14 years ago and 14 wardrobes ago for Jon Stewart. Whoa, he was so cute then. In what you're about to see, you'll notice that the writing and performing on The Daily Show has always been great, but the graphics department was not yet up to speed in those days. No images of Tom Selleck playing the lead in Magnum P.I., his hit TV show that Jon Stewart mentions, and there is no graphic representation of the movie Jon Stewart mentions without naming the title Planet of the Apes.
If guns were bad, would Tom Selleck have named his Private Eye character after one? I think not. Tom is just voicing the lessons weapons maven Charlton Heston taught us in one of his greatest roles, that if man were to give up guns and live in peace, pretty soon armed apes would be running the show. Damned, dirty, armed apes. You don't need thumbs to pull a trigger. Wait. Although you do need this finger to show Tom Selleck what you think about it. And that was a hastily thrown together editorial.
A month after Tom Selleck became the poster boy for the NRA, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris walked into Columbine High School armed with Tech-9s and killed 12 students and one teacher. That made for a sometimes uncomfortable publicity tour for Tom Selleck when he was pushing his next movie a month later, especially when he found himself on the first O'Donnell-hosted national television show. The interview began with Tom explaining that he joined the NRA 3 months earlier just to do that ad that Jon Stewart showed. And then things got interesting fast.
But I think that the reason that people are so extreme against the NRA is because the NRA has such a militant strength, especially a power in Washington, to veto or to stronghold any sensible gun law. They have been against every sensible gun law until yesterday, including trigger locks, so that children, which there are 500 a year that die, don't get killed.
I'm not a spokesman for the NRA. In fact, all I can tell you is I was a member when I was a kid. I was a junior NRA member. I learned firearm safety. And from what I see in the last 3 months, they don't do a lot of the stuff that you assume they do.
Not a spokesman for the NRA. The common industry term for actors appearing in ads is spokesman, but Tom wanted none of that.
But you can't say that guns don't bear a responsibility. If the makers of the Tech-9 assault rifle, why would the NRA be against assault rifles? This is a gun that can shoot 5 bullets in a second. This is the gun that those boys brought into the school. Why the NRA wouldn't say, as a matter of compromise, we agree, assault rifles are not good.
I can't speak for the NRA.
But you're their spokesperson, Tom, so you have to be responsible for what they say.
I'm not a spokesperson.
But if you put your name out and say, I, Tom Selleck...
Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not a spokesperson. Remember how calm you said you'd be... Now you're questioning my humanity.
No, not your humanity. I think you're a very humane man.
Okay,
I'm saying that if you...
I came on your show to plug a movie. That's what I'm doing here.
And that's what we did.
If you think it's proper to have a debate about the NRA, I'm trying to be fair with you.
As I am trying to.
This is absurd. You're calling me a spokesman for the NRA?
Tom, if you're a celebrity and you're doing an ad that says that I am the NRA, then what should have been
Have you read the ads?
I have read the ads.
Good.
Did you read the ads?
I said them. I read what I say.
Okay.
Well, that's an honest actor's response. He's making it clear that the words that were written in the ad were written by the NRA, and he just said them. Rosie then went on to prove that at least some O'Donnells can be gracious under fire.
All right. Well, this has not gone the way that I had hoped that it had gone, but I would like to thank you for appearing anyway, knowing that we do have differing views. I was happy that you decided to come on the show. And if you feel insulted by my questions, I apologize, because it was not a personal attack. I was meant to bring up the subject as it is in the consciousness of so many today. That was my intent. And if it was wrong, I apologize to you on a personal level.
It's your show. And you can talk about it after I leave, too.
Well, I thought I would give you an opportunity to discuss your side of it, which is what I hoped that I did. And if it was wrong, then I'm sorry for that. All right, obviously, it didn't do much good. But The Love Letter is a great movie with Kate Capshaw.
No, I don't remember that movie either. And 14 years later, the ad spokesman for the NRA, who denied he was a spokesman for the NRA, Tom Selleck, who told Rosie in that interview, quote, "I don't hang out with people of the NRA." That same person who tried to disown the NRA right after Columbine, 14 years later, Tom Selleck is now a member of the board of the NRA. And so tonight, the time has come to do what Rosie O'Donnell refused to do 14 years ago, question Tom Selleck's humanity. Since then, a madman with unlimited access to guns, thanks to Tom Selleck's work with the NRA, killed 32 people and wounded 17 on the campus of Virginia Tech. He set the murder record for American gun massacres. Since then, a madman with unlimited access to guns, thanks to Tom Selleck's work with the NRA, killed 6, including a 9-year-old girl, and wounded 13 in a shopping mall parking lot in Tucson, Arizona. That madman gunned down a member of Congress, Gabby Giffords, an NRA spokesman and board member. Tom Selleck didn't have a word to say about it. And since then, another madman with unlimited access to guns, thanks to Tom Selleck's work with the NRA, walked into a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, and using a 100-round ammunition drum, managed to kill 12 people and wound another 58, thereby setting a new record for total number of people shot in an American gun massacre. And most recently, another madman with easy access to his mother's assault rifle and high-capacity ammunition magazines, thanks to Tom Selleck's work with the NRA to make those magazines available, shot and killed 20 first graders in Newtown, Connecticut, riddled their little bodies with bullets, and while he was at it, killed 6 of the women in that school, desperately trying to save those children's lives. And tonight, Tom Selleck, who has played a principled man on TV and in movies, Tom Selleck, the man who for 14 years has given his full support, first as a spokesman and then as a board member, to the industry lobbying group that has done everything it can every day to make sure that American mass murderers are the best equipped mass murderers in the world. That Tom Selleck has not had one word to say about what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. And so, yes, it is time to question Tom Selleck's humanity. Is there anything in Tom Selleck's humanity that recoils at his blood-drenched organization using the president's daughters in their latest round of ugly propaganda? Is that okay with Tom Selleck? I don't believe it is. I really don't. I've met Tom. I've chatted with him. He seems like a good guy, a decent guy. But now we're going to find out. We're going to find out how brave Tom Selleck really is. We're going to find out who Tom Selleck really is. Does he have the courage to come forward and say, as a father himself, as a decent human being, that what the NRA did, what his organization did with the president's daughters is unconscionable? Like the president, Tom Selleck has 2 kids. They're both adults now. We can all be absolutely certain that if I included their names in what I'm saying here, if I linked Tom Selleck's kids in any way to Tom Selleck's 14 years of work making sure that our mass murderers are so well equipped that Tom Selleck would be beyond outraged. And he would have a right to that parental outrage. If, and only if, he shares this country's outrage with what the blood-drenched leaders of the NRA have done this week with the president's daughters. And so, yes, Tom, it's come to this. Now I'm doing what Rosie was careful not to do 14 years ago. I am questioning your humanity, and you are going to give us an answer one way or the other. You see, Tom, your continued silence will tell us. It will tell us you're just a man in makeup who plays brave men on TV. Your silence will prove who you really are. There's no way out of this now, Tom. This is your moment. You can see this. I know you can. This is actually the most important moment in your public life. You've been handed the greatest scene of your life, a real scene where no one else can write the words but you. You don't have to disown your philosophy about guns. You don't have to change your position on assault weapons or those huge magazine clips or any of the president's legislative proposals. But fundamental human decency demands that you step forward and, at a minimum, condemn what your organization has done this week in dragging the president's daughters into its propaganda campaign. If you do that, America will have the answer that we're all hoping for about your humanity. And if you don't, then we'll know who you really are. We will know that the clowns who wrote the words in that first ad you did for the NRA were absolutely right about you and said everything anyone will ever need to know about you. They said it in the last line of that ad. We'll know that you, Tom Selleck, really are the NRA.